not least in terms of getting through to the semi-finals, but you know that even a few more defeats raises doubts as to whether or not you'll even stay in for the next group. But David Alcaide, who had a tough start yesterday, lost both of his first 2 matches by 5 racks to 1. Different story today. He's got a win under his belt already, and he has the break in the opening rack.
Yeah, and he hit that break really soft. I'm not sure, yet again, the balls were touching. The wing ball 4 went to the bottom rail. I think that was just the pace of David's break. He did hit them very, very softly. As you can see, there was only 1 or 2 balls went past the head string. And straight away, he's going to be faced with the difficult snooker. I believe he's going to... he's going to spin the 1 ball. I thought he would double the 1 ball up and down and stick the white behind the 5, 4 and the 7. But he's got the snooker. There was a lot of balls in the way there to leave him in trouble. And David's first attempt is a difficult one.
Over on the other table, Alban Ocean is off the mark now. We told you during the previous match that he was 2-0 down against Niels Fyan. He has won the 3rd rack. And he's on the 6th ball in rack 4, so a decent chance to square things up there.
David looking to play a 2-rail kick, trying to hit the 1/2 ball. Good hit. Has he got lucky?
No.
Well, this is Mieszko's first opportunity at a pot. Didn't strike that one into the centre of the pocket, went in off the right hand jaw. But it still went in.
Didn't win the group yesterday, Chris, as we've said. He was beaten in the semi-finals, but impressed a lot of people. Had a lot of good wins against very good players along the way yesterday.
Yeah, brilliant player is Mieszko. He's improved a lot over the last 18 months. In my opinion, one of the top 2 Polish players at this moment in time. And you've got to say, his next 5 shots are basically stop shots. The 8 ball is the only problem if it doesn't go into the left-hand centre or the right-hand corner, and I'm not sure it does. So he's going to have to play a cannon at some point to bring that into play. Personally, I'd like to pot the 4 ball, the 5 ball, and leave a 1/2 ball angle on the 6 to draw down and just flick the 8 or the 9. It only takes a little flick, and as long as he hits the left-hand side of the 8 and the 9, he will be on the 7. Well, he's looking at potting the 4 and coming into the 8 and 9 from the right-hand side. I'd have been wanting the cue ball on the left-hand side to play this shot, but it's his own personal preference. Well, he's looking to use a 7 ball to break them out. This is dangerous. Never leave your last potting ball to develop the one that you need to land on. Try and develop it earlier, therefore giving yourself more opportunity. There's certainly no way I would have been playing it this way, but it's his own personal choice. But if he doesn't land on it right now, he may be in trouble. Needs to flick the top of the 8 ball. I'm not sure he can hit the 9 ball, which is what he would have wanted. But if he flicks the top of the 8, the cue ball could run to the side rail and leave him in a little bit of trouble.
Attention, please.
That's exactly why you don't leave it to your last ball. Should have been opening them up off the 6 ball. And now he's put himself in deep trouble.
Yeah, sort of putting all his eggs in one basket there, wasn't he? If you do it earlier, you give yourself a couple of goes. If it doesn't work out first time, you can come back for another try later.
Well, it's not the worst result. He has left it. He can play the cut on the 8. And David's very good at these shots. Or he could play the bank. I think you'll see him play the cut. But he may have to go up and down with the cue ball. This is perfect. Nicely onto the 9 ball. And again, Mieszko's had a chance. Little unfortunate, we can say, that he's stuck behind the 9 ball, but when you're leaving your eggs in one basket, then you're open to that happening.
And David Alcaide was in to steal, continuing his positive start to the day. He leads Fortunski by 1 rack to 0. Mieszko Fortunski is a player who's won a couple of decent-sized events. He's been a winner on the Euro Tour, beat Ralph Suke in the final in Italy 5 years ago now, in fact, and since then he's won a straight pool division at the Derby City Classic. He was runner-up to Niels Feijen in Las Vegas in the summer of 2019, so he's been at the business end of decent-sized events. And Niels Feijen, who beat him in that Las Vegas final, is in action on the other table at the moment, as we've been saying, against Albin Ocean, who's lost his opening match. It looks as though Ocean could be in here to lead by 3 racks to 2. And we saw there, when we were having a glimpse earlier, Chris, still 1 or 2 signs of some of the antics from Albin Ocean that we saw over the first couple of days. And not a good sign, that.
0 in favour of.
Yeah, I actually saw him at breakfast, and I said to him, "Are you feeling okay today? Did you have a good sleep?" And he just burst out laughing. So I kind of thought that he did sleep quite well last night. Different mentality today. Still shaking his head a little bit, but that's just the way he is. And who am I to tell him how to play? He's been a world champion at this game, so he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's not in the winners group though, Chris. You are.
Not yet. I still think he'll get through. He's too good of a player not to get through, but you know, it only takes 1 or 2 bad misses or bad rolls, bad breaks, and you could be on your way home.
Back here, Fortunski has had a good break, and he's looking to get off and running here, but he's not going to be, is he, in the second rack?
Yeah, he's playing a few strange shots. I mean, to play that way, you could always go behind the 8 ball, where if you draw that ball 2 rails, it's impossible to go behind another ball. The angle just wasn't there to hook yourself. I think he's a little bit frustrated from snookering himself on the rack before.
Extension, please.
Is he looking to kick this ball in? This will go close, I would think. Well, he's played safe. And that is a very good shot. Not got the hook, or the snooker as we like to say in England, but he'll take it. He may be in trouble after this. David will look to either bank the 4 up the table, or clip off the 4 and leave the cue ball in behind the 6. Couple of options.
Extension, please.
I think he's looking to stick the cue ball in behind the 7 ball at first glance. Well, he's played the bank, and what a shot. I didn't think he could bank that ball from there, but straight in the out of the pocket and give himself a great opportunity to win this rack.
Fortunski's letting his opponents off the hook today. It was a missed combination that he should never have missed in a million years, that proved so key in his defeat to Kelly Fisher. And really, he passed up a decent opportunity at the start of this rack. Could find himself 2-0 down in a few moments. David Alcaide, a two-time winner of the World Pool Masters. Very tough event to win. First won it in 2017. Knocked out Shane Van Boning on the way to a final against Jason Shaw, which he won 8-7. And it was another hill finish in 2019. From 5-0 down against Alex Kazakis, he came back to win 9-8. And he's still the holder of that title because, of course, it wasn't played last year.
Yeah, really exciting final against Kazakis. Both players missing great chances in the final rack due to pressure, but David played an unbelievable bank shot to win the match and the title.
I loved his celebration after he had done that as well, and he'll be celebrating just a little bit inside now because he's off to a good start here. He's already won his first match and he leads 2-0 in his next one. Let's have a look in next door again. Albin Ocean still looking for his first win of the day. 3-2 up against Niels Fyen. Ocean beat Fyen twice on Monday, once in the round robin stage, once in a really long drawn out semi-final. Took a long time to play, even though it finished 5-2 to Ocean. But when they met yesterday, right at the start of the day, it was Fyen who won. It turned out to be a much better day for him than it did for Ocean.
Timed that shot well there. Got into the cue ball really easy, and he's perfect on the 7 ball to draw back for the 8. And we'll be seeing Albin's sister in action on day 7.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, he came in Group 1, he's still here for Group 3. If he stays in for a few more groups, we could have brother and sister playing each other
2-0 in favor
on Sunday. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be one for the memory books and the bragging rights. And again, a slack break. 1 ball on the spot. The wing ball should fly in every break. That 3 ball should have flown straight in. There must be a little gap there somewhere. But he's been slightly fortunate that he's not left an easier shot to get the 2 ball. Not sure if Mieszko can pot the 1 and maybe draw into the 4, or pot the 1 and screw around the back and play the 2 in the same pocket. Ooh, and he was good on the 2 ball, but if I got to pot the 1 ball, the most important thing is make sure you get the pot. And as the week goes on, these pockets are going to get tighter. They are tighter than normal, and the longer the cloth gets worn and the table gets worn, the pockets will tighten up.
Oh, this is a really good effort. I'm not sure he can pop the 2, but he gave it a really good try.
Yeah, that is so unlucky. He's played a great jump shot there. Wasn't easy to get the cue ball away. It was easy to pot the 1, but to hit the 2 and the 4 and leave yourself in real trouble because the 2 ball's welded to the cushion. There's not a lot he can do. May see him play the kick shot off the side rail. And instead of playing just below the 7, he's probably going to play somewhere in between the bulk line, the kitchen line, and the 7 with a lot of right hand spin to get the cue ball away. Otherwise he's going to be stuck on the 3.
Has he left the bank shot here, Chris, or is the 8 ball in the way?
I think the 8 ball's in the way. You probably see Mieszko send the 1 ball towards the 9 and send the cue ball right in behind the 7. There's so many blockers in the way. It's harder not to get the snooker. Well, he's going the other way. I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure about this one. It is a good shot, but it's very, very easy to hit this ball. Whether he gets away with it is another thing. But if he'd have played the cue ball in behind the 7, it would have been very difficult to get out of. Well, David's hit it, but not left anything easy again for Mieszko. I think he can make it. Position, no easy task. Got to avoid the right hand centre pocket. Should he try cut the 2 ball in, he will be spinning that 1 ball side rail, top rail to play for the 3 in the left hand centre pocket. Well, he's not even attempted it. But he's played a good safety. And when you get to this level of pool, a good safety is as good as a good pot.
Yeah, either one of them just as likely to win you a rack.
What a kick shot. What a kick shot from David there. Knew the 2 ball was tracking towards the corner. Don't think he played to pot it in it. I think he played to send the cue ball back in behind the 4 ball, but he'll take it. He's at the table and he's in control.
3-3 now on the other table between Alban Ocean and Niels Fyan.
Don't forget to hit a rail, David. Oh, and he's not got the snooker. It's a bit of a poor shot. Got to rely on the table to roll straight, and it has been rolling straight all week. This beautiful Rasson table. Well, there's a few slack safety shots in this match so far.
Well, the thing is, they don't have as much time to figure out the safety shots as they did yesterday because the shot clock is in now.
Yeah, it does give you a different mindset when you've only got 30 seconds to play the shot. The players do have an extension, which will add 30 seconds. That's 1 per rack. But a minute is not a long time to play your shots. There we saw our timekeeper, DJ. One of the top English 8-ball players in the country. Mieszko's probably going to play the same shot he just played where he spins off the 3 ball and back down.
Extension, please.
Imperative that he gets the snooker here, because he could be sticking that 3 ball up if he doesn't. And I think he's left it. That's a really, really poor shot there from Mieszko. The 3 ball should have been nowhere near that corner pocket. He was playing it to the side rail, but hit it completely different.
Hold the clock, please.
Yeah, it didn't look comfortable playing the shot with the bridge. Now, there's something else with the shot clock. The referee can at any time decide to suspend the shot clock if he feels there's a good reason for it. And I think in that case the issue was that David Alcaide didn't want the chalk being left on the rail like that. So John Lehman ordered the shot clock to be stopped while he returned it to Fortunski.
Great shot there by David. A lot more difficult than that looked. Had to be careful not to screw it back into the 4 ball. Played a great stun shot there to send the cue ball off 3 cushions and landing perfect on the 4 ball. Well, isn't it amazing how after the first day Albin really struggled yesterday after losing in the final. And now Mieszko, after getting to the semi-final, he's also struggling a little bit. Lost his first match to Kelly Fisher. And he looks like going 3-0 down to David Alcaide.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Alcaide's had the break twice and hasn't worked out for him either time, and yet looks like he's going to be 3-0 up. And what a difference a day makes for him as well, Chris, because he lost his first 2 matches yesterday. A couple of balls' time, he'll be 2 racks away from starting with 2 wins in today's group.
Well, he's definitely going to go 3-0 up, straight in 9-ball.
Good work from David Alcaide. Fortunski has helped him along the way a bit, but the Spanish player is very much on top here. He's taken his chance as well, and he now leads by 3 racks to 0. We'll have more in a moment.
Going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
This championship is being played with the new RMS tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My RMS Ranger of Ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My RMS, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
It's day 3 of the Predator Championship League 2021 here in Milton Keynes, and it's turning into a very good day so far for Spain's 2-time World Masters champion David Alcaide. He's won his opening match against Alban Ocean by 5 racks to 4, and in his second against Mieszko Fortunski, he's leading 3-0. The pole does have the break though in rack 4.
Rack number 4, current score is 3-0 in favor of Mr. Alcaide. Mr. Fortunski to break.
Well, a lot softer break there from Mieszko. Won't be too disappointed. The 2 balls just landed okay to leave a combination on the 8, and he's nicely on the 1. Just got to take each shot and each rack at a time. Try and claw himself back into this match.
Leaving himself 2-8 combination here, but not guaranteed to be on Well, he should be okay to be on the 2, actually. Yeah, it's a little harder than he would have liked, and still got a bit of work to do to get on the 3, Chris.
Yeah, he's played that bad. He needed to draw the cue ball back a couple of inches. For some reason, he's stunned the cue ball, and now he's left with a nightmare of a cut. Gonna have to go twice across here. Cue ball hitting probably 4 rails. Well, he's played into the 3. Very risky, but it's come out nice. Anything could have happened there.
Yeah, and very quickly he's developed this into a good chance. I mentioned the tournaments he's won before: Derby City Classic, Italian Open. Made a big impact at the US Open in Las Vegas almost 2 years ago now. Pushed Shane Van Boening very hard in his 3rd match, lost 11-8, but did really well on the one-loss side then. Had wins over Corey Jewell, Ralph Souquet and a couple of other players, and he got himself back to where he was just 1 win away from being in the last 16, which would have been the single table, single elimination stage. And he came up just 1 rack short against Wu Cha-Ching, who of course went on to reach the final.
Yeah, he's a class player, no doubt about it. Got a long future ahead.
Well, he also got to the equivalent stage of the World Championship later that year. I mentioned that he got to the final in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Open against Niels Feijen. And he also won the 10 ball at the European Championships in Treviso that same year, with a win in the final over Kasper Matikainen, who we'll be seeing here on Saturday.
Yeah, and he's overrun that shot again. He's going to play the bank, I believe. He's good at these shots. Stop the cue ball dead. Perfect. Another stop shot now to be straight on the 9 ball into the top left-hand corner to make it 3-1.
Nicely done. And just talking there about his achievements, Chris, the fact that he's done well now, very well in fact, in some of the very biggest events, and he's won some of the sort of medium-sized tournaments. The next step for him, I suppose, would be to try to win one of the very biggest titles and maybe become a contender for a Mosconi Cup place. Is that something you think he's capable of in the next year or two?
Yeah, without a doubt. He's certainly got the game. He's got the belief, and I think he's got the bottle. So he can certainly do it. I mean, when you're playing that Mosconi, people talk about pressure. Well, I've played in it twice, and I can assure you, you don't ever feel pressure like it. It's very unique, and you can't really prepare yourself for what's ahead.
You were on the winning team both times, weren't you?
Yeah, I think it was 2011 and 2012. Once in Vegas and once in Bethnal Green in London. We ended up winning both times. Seems like an eternity ago.
Oh, it is. It's almost a decade. So much has happened in the meantime. Of course, with everything going on in the world at the moment, even 12 or 13 months seems like a very long time.
Rack number 5, our current score is 3-1 in favor of Mr. Alcaide.
Anyway, Fortunski really needed the sort of rack he produced there, but it's Alcaide with the break now. Although, you would have to say, the 2 previous breaks he's had, he struggled with it.
Bit more pace on the break there, but he's lost the cue ball. Still in control though, he'll take that. One good safety. Try and get the cue ball tight and leave distance between the balls. Don't think he can get a really good snooker here. Maybe send the 1 ball down the table. He's clipping off the 1 and sending the cue ball in behind the 9, 1 behind the 6. And that's good. Just got there. Maybe a little edge, but the cue ball could be tracking towards that right hand corner pocket. Mieszko once again in big trouble. Good jump shot there, controlled the cue ball well, but he stuck the 1 ball up. Does David have an angle to get down to the 2 ball? I think he has. But these middle pockets do play quite tight.
I mentioned Fortunski as a potential future Mosconi Cup player. Alcaide was the first player from Spain ever to make the European team, 15 years ago now. He had a good week, getting a few wins along the way. Also had a few defeats as well, though, and it ended badly for him. Europe were 12-10 up. They only needed to win one of the last 2. And it all came down to Alcaide playing Corey Jewell, who was MVP that week in the final match. Alcaide lost 5-2. If he'd won that match, Europe would have won the Mosconi Cup. As it was, it finished tied for the only time, and the Americans retained it. Alcaide didn't get back into the team for 11 years, but was on the winning side that time, and that in fact was the last of Europe's 8 in a row.
Yeah, and I think David's missed a little trick there. He's potted the 2 ball and then gone and looked to see if the 4 ball goes past the 6.
Attention,
he should have been looking at that 2 or 3 shots ago. Because if it doesn't go, now he's got no angle, but it must go. He's had a good look. I think it just sneaks in.
Niels Feijen has started the day with a win over Alban Ocean for the 2nd day in a row. It was 5-2 yesterday, 5-3 today. And what that also means is that, also like yesterday, Ocean has started the day with back-to-back defeats.
Well, he's up and down here. Does it go? Bouncing around like a kangaroo on a trampoline. Well, it flew past Michael. I think he was playing to the crowd there a little bit.
If only there was one.
Well, there's a crowd watching at home.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And David Alcaide in very good shape now. 3 balls away from a 4-1 lead. He put himself under pressure early on yesterday rather, with those 2 defeats to start. If he can close this one out, he's already at least, you would say, halfway towards clinching his semi-final place, and that doesn't half take the pressure off for later matches. And the good thing for him is he can carry the momentum straight through, because he'll be straight back on this table to play Billy Thorpe. Still got to get this one finished though.
Yeah, and all these wins will be giving David a lot of confidence, and that was a crazy, crazy shot to play. Why on earth would you bring the middle pocket into play? No need. Could have stunned the cue ball straight down the middle of the table, and he would guarantee some kind of shot on the 9 ball. And not only has he nearly gone in off, he's overran the cue ball by a good 10 inches.
You could almost see his heart jumping into the back of his mouth there as that cue ball was heading towards the pocket. This isn't guaranteed. Big moment in the match. And he's delivered 4-1 then to David Alcaide, but he made it harder for himself than he should have done, Chris.
Yeah, and good for David that he's a great shot maker, because it wasn't an easy 9 ball. He'll be disappointed with the positional shot that he played, but that'll soon be forgotten about after making that 9.
So as I said, Niels Feijen has beaten Alban Ocean 5-3 on the other table. Ocean's got a bit of a break now before he plays another run of back-to-back matches later against Billy Thorpe and Darren Appleton. And indeed, Appleton will be next up over on the other table in a few minutes' time against Feijen. We'll be going into that on a bit of a high after his win. But then Appleton is going to be feeling good about things too after beating Billy Thorpe by 5-0 earlier. So that's what's happening across the 2 tables.
Yeah, Darren looked good in his first match, apart from the first couple of racks. He had a little bit of nerves. I was speaking to him after, and he said he felt nervous because me and Carl was in the commentary box, and he knew that we would slate him if he played a few bad ones.
Rack number 6. Current score is 4-1 in favour of
after
Mr.
the first
Alcaide.
and second rack, he
Mr.
played really well. Thoroughly deserved to win.
You and Carl are surely too nice to slate anyone, Chris.
Where's the 9 ball going?
Oh, he had a golden break yesterday. almost had one today.
Yeah, and I think it was the kind of same thing happened. The 9-ball into the top right-hand corner pocket wasn't far away.
Saw Kelly Fisher having one as well yesterday.
Yeah, you don't see them too often. But going back to Carl, myself and Darren, we're very good friends on the table and off the table, and anybody knows us knows that we're kind of jokers with each other. We all have a lot of banter, Jason Shaw included. I'm sure he's watching some of the games. Old Eagle Eye.
Push out.
Hope he's keeping well.
Well, it's the great thing about being involved in pool, isn't it, Chris? I mean, the tournaments are spread out all over the world. It's a much more global sport than perhaps people realise. By far the most global, in fact, of the cue sports. So you guys have spent so much of your lives travelling the world together, and that's bound to create a bond.
Yeah, and I was saying to a few of my friends early last year, before we got locked down, that I think it was 2019, I'd been on 56 flights that year.
Wow. Probably glad of a break from flying after all of that. But so exciting to go off to those places. The travelling can all be a bit tiring and everything, but it's all worth it to see so much of the world, and pool does give you those opportunities.
Yeah, it certainly does. We're very fortunate that we get to go some great places. We get to go to China, the Far East, the Philippines, Las Vegas, Russia. And I believe we've got a few events coming up in Brazil and South Africa when the government allows it. And that is a really poor shot from David. I don't know what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to kill the cue ball behind the 6. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, you mentioned Jason Shaw there. He would have been a great addition to this event. Wasn't able to attend for personal reasons. And of course, he was not just MVP at the Mosconi Cup, he just owned that week, didn't he? Delivered the winning point and was so strong. A real leader on the table for Europe in that crunching win they had over the Americans in Coventry.
Yeah, he's, in my opinion, already an all-time great. Not afraid of winning. And very, very exciting to watch. Doesn't mess around. Wears his heart on his sleeve. And one of the greatest shot makers that's ever lived. Nice combination there. Had to roll that slow. If it hadn't have gone in, it would have been a foul because it wouldn't have reached a rail. But it has gone in and it's perfect on the 4. Decided to use 2 rails with left-hand spin to kill the cue ball off the bottom rail. He's perfect here on the 5 ball. And it will be Mieszko's, well, it won't be Mieszko's break, it'll be David's break in the next rack.
Yeah, but as we've been saying, he hasn't exactly been using the break very effectively in the match, so there's still hope for Fortunski. Alcaide on the hill, Fortunski hanging on. The man from Spain leads by 4 racks to 2. He needs one more. We'll see his quest to get it in just a moment.
A little 3-minute break, 2.5-minute break.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
Sporting events should not be held until there are no new cases.
Well, that's right up there with Matty. No crowd, but who needs them?
Just in terms of pure potting ability, he's just one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh my word. Incredible.
What a power-packed partnership it is. Start the engraving process.
David Alcaide still on the hill then. Mieszko Fortunski hanging on here. It's closed to 4-2 down. Alcaide does have the break in rack 7, but it's not exactly been his forte so far in this match, despite the fact that he's in that strong position. And if Alcaide wins, it will be 2 wins from 2 for him. Fortunski, though, would still be looking for a win after 2 matches. And in both cases, that would be the exact opposite of how they started yesterday's play.
And it's important that David can try and kill the match off here in one visit. And he's not brought
Rack
great so
7,
far.
Current score is 4-2.
He'll be hoping for his
In
best
favour
break of the
Mr.
match.
Alcaide.
Yeah,
Mr.
Fortunski's
Alcaide to
been
break
breaking much better,
on
and
the
of
hill.
course, if Alcaide doesn't finish it off here and we go to another rack, Fortunski would then have the break, and that would give him a chance to go hill-hill. So let's see if we'll have a better break this time.
Well, a soft stun break there. He didn't even hit them. Made a ball, but no shot. It can be a cruel, cruel game sometimes. One day it all goes for you, and the next it all goes against you.
Push out.
Darren Appleton still hasn't lost a rack. 5-0 winner against Billy Thorpe earlier, and he's taken the opener against Niels Fyan. And he's at the table looking to go 2-0 up there.
Yeah, and I was just watching that game. Niels has had 2 very good opportunities to win that rack. The first rack and this rack. And he's missed 2 balls that you wouldn't expect.
Mr. Fortunski, your option.
It's been such a strange week for Fyan. He's done well in both groups, been a semi-finalist in both of them. But boy, has he missed some balls along the way.
Yeah, and one person you don't want to be missing balls against is Darren Appleton, because he will punish you.
He's one of 3 English players in the tournament, Appleton. Chris, of course, you're one. You're already through to the winners group, and Kelly Fisher is the other.
Yeah, Kelly's been all over the world also. She lived in, I think it was Charlotte in North Carolina for many years. Moved over there when she was playing on the ladies tour, and then moved back to Scotland. I think she lives in Dumfries now.
Yeah, that's right. She's been back for a few years now.
Yeah, she's bought herself a pool club. Her and her partner Val. And David's got a great chance here. Nothing to do with the cue ball. And he needs to kill this match off right now, because if he doesn't, you sense that Mieszko will break and run the next rack if it goes that far.
Extension, please.
Yeah, interestingly, I was watching him practice the other night when he got here, David Alcaide, and he was practicing pretty much this exact shot a number of times because he was struggling with it. Doesn't matter how much you struggle in practice though, so long as you pull them off on the match table. He's done it there, and he's got a chance now, Chris, to finish this off.
Yeah, and he's played a really good shot there, because it was kind of one of them shots where if you get too much on it, you're going to go somewhere near the 6, and if you don't get enough, the cue ball's going to go near the top rail. So that was a lot better shot than it looked. And he's got nothing to do from the 3 to the 4. And you can only see this match going one way now.
I mentioned his Mosconi Cup history. He was part of the Spain team that reached the semi-final of the World Cup for the first time ever when it was last played in Leicester a couple of years ago. Obviously, like so many other things, it got called off last year. They lost 9-3 to the eventual winners Austria in the semi-finals, but I think they'd beaten you and Jason along the way, hadn't they, Chris?
Well, I think Jason will tell you that we beat each other. Yeah, I didn't perform great in the match. You know, I felt like I let Jason down a little bit, but Jason basically said, "Look, we win and lose as a team," which I totally understand. But Spain played good. They did what they had to do, and they're a very, very strong team. David's partner, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Yeah, they've been one rack away from the semi-finals the year before in Shanghai before losing to China, who also turned out to be the eventual winners. And it looks pretty much inevitable now that David Alcaide is going to be the eventual winner of this match. It's been a strange sort of contest, actually. So much talk about the break and its importance in the modern game. He struggled with it throughout the entire match, and yet he's going to run out a comprehensive winner. David Alcaide then with this simple 9-ball to finish it off. He beats Mieszko Fortunski by 5 racks to 2. The clenched fist marks 2 wins out of 2 for the World Pool Masters champion.